All right, let's continue on with number 77. The question or the directions tell us to evaluate the expression when x is 8, y is -4, and z is -3. So if we take a look at the expression, we're going to take the absolute value of the whole solution after we do the value of x times the value of z, multiply that together, divide by the opposite of y. Okay, so here's how we do this problem. All right, in absolute value, x is 8. It's going to be multiplied by z, -3. Then we will divide this by the opposite of, we're going to put the value of y in here, which is -4, and then take the whole absolute value of the entire thing. So, the numerator, what's 8 times -3? -24. And this denominator, you can read it two ways. Minus -4 would be plus positive, or take the opposite of -4, which is still 4. Okay, what is -24 divided by 4? We get -6. And now that we're down to one integer, the absolute value of -6 is 6. (77) Describe and correct the error in plotting for -2. All right, that's the point given. This information you don't change. That's what you work with. So now it says you start at 0, 0. You move 2 units to the left, and then you move 2 units up. So to graph this, you start at 0, 0. You move right 4 units, and you move 2 units down, because the first point represents x, left and right. The second point represents y, up or down. So the error was that the student plotted the coordinates backwards. He started with the y value instead of the x. 79. The coordinates of 3 vertices of a rectangle are shown in the figure. What's the coordinate of the 4th vertex? Well, if this point is 1, 2, 3, 4 units away, then the other point needs to be 1, 2, 3, 4 units away. All right, we also need to make sure that this point is on the same line as this point. So the ordered pair would be -2, 3. (81) You have to write 33 hundredths as a fraction. How do you choose the denominator? So in this question, we'd like to know how we find the denominator. Since we know that the last digit is in the hundredths place, we know that our denominator will be 100. So this would be 33 over 100. 82, add or subtract. Write your answer in simplest form. Since all of these are coefficients, we're unable to get an actual solution. So what we're going to do is just take -8, add 4 to get -4, and then subtract 6. And those of you who are still struggling with your integers, -4 minus 6 is -4 plus -6, which gives us a final answer of -10x. Your bank account has a -$58.44. You deposit $46.85. So our statement is -$58.44. Add $46.85. Since our signs are different, subtract these from each other. We get a solution of -$11.59. All right, so let's take a look at number 84. Don't look at me, Matt. A cook has 4½ cups of flour. A recipe calls for 4 3/4 cups of flour. Does the cook have enough? If not, how much more? The cook has 4½ cups of flour, or 4.50 in decimal form. The cook needs 4 3/4 cups of flour, or converted to a decimal, 4.75. So the solution is the cook still needs 1/4 of a cup, 0.25 cups of flour. Number 25 asks us to evaluate, and if you notice we have addition and we have multiplication. So in order of operations, we multiply first. So negative 7.6 plus this product is negative 69 and 35 hundredths. And since both of these signs are the same, we add, keep negative. Negative 76 and 95 hundredths. Number 86, we're going to evaluate again. Here we have subtraction, we have division, and we have exponents. So we're going to work with the exponents first. So 8 and 45 hundredths minus 5 and 4 tenths divided by 16, because 4 squared means 4 times 4. Next, we're going to do the division. So we're going to take 5.4 and divide by 16 as such. And we get an answer of 3,375 ten-thousandths. Subtract that from 8 and 45 hundredths, and we get 8 and 1,125 ten-thousandths. Number 87, first take a look at your signs. We have times, absolute value, subtraction, and exponents. So there's a lot going on in this problem. Hi, Amara. We're going to evaluate the absolute value bars. Notice it became positive. And 2.6 to the third power means 2.6 times 2.6 times 2.6. And that gives us 17.576. Next, we're going to multiply these two numbers. What's a negative times a positive? We get negative 65.36. And in this problem here now, both signs are negative, so let's add them, keep negative. And we get a final answer of negative 82.936. Okay, for number 88, we first need to convert the fractions to improper fractions. So 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5. So we get 5 over 3 divided by negative 4 over 7. And we're going to add to it negative 1 and 1/5. Okay, first I want to see what these numbers here look like before I negotiate negative 1 and 1/5. All right. So division is the same as multiplying, the reciprocal. So we're going to take 5 over 3. We're going to multiply it to negative 7 over 4. And then we'll add on this negative 1 and 1/5. So this here equals negative 35 over 12. And if we write this as a mixed number, 12 goes into 35 negative 2 times. That's 24, leaving us with 11 left over out of 12. We're going to add to this fraction right here. Now, before we can add these two fractions, we need to find a common denominator. All right, we're back. Sorry about that, because Liana was very disruptive. All right, here we go. So negative 2 and 11/12 and negative 1 and 1/5 share a denominator of 60. So we are going to rewrite this using 60 as our denominator. So 12 times 5 is 60, so 11 times 5 is 55. 5 times 12 is 60, so 1 times 12 is 12. So now we could add negative 2 plus 1 is negative 3. 55 and 12 is 67 over 60. So how many 60s and 67? There's 1, so we could add that to the whole number to get negative 4, with 7 left over out of 60. So here's our final solution. Okay, number 89, we have multiplication and subtraction. So this is another order of operations problem. All right, I'm back. I apologize once again for Liana's disruptive behavior, and Amara encourages her. So they're currently making faces at me. All right. So to solve this problem, like I said before, we have to multiply first and then subtract. So to do this, we're going to make this fraction improper, and we're going to make this fraction improper. So 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 5 over 2 negative times 1 over 2. And then we're going to subtract. 4 times 2 is 8, times plus 3 is 10 over 4. Okay, so let's do the multiplication part first. And negative 5 times 1 is negative 5 over 2 times 2 is 4. And we're going to subtract 10 over 4. So negative 5 minus 10 is negative 15. Oh, I made a mistake. There should be 11 in here, not 10. Because 4 times 2 is 8, plus 3 is 11, not 10. I hope Liana can forgive me. 11 and 5, negative 16 over 4. There are 4 16s. There are 4 4s in 16. So our answer is negative 4.